Hi everyone, my name is Lunar and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we're going to be going over the top 5 things oppers must know, or the top 5 tips. Now if you enjoy this video and this video helps you out in any way, shape, or form, then be sure to hit that like button and let's shoot for a goal of 20 likes on today's video. Your support is always so amazing and I can't thank you all enough ahead of time of that, but it also helps grow the channel as well too. So with that being said, let's hop into these tips. Alright, so as you can see, we're going to use Inferno as an example, and we're going to start off on the CT side. Now, with that being said, say you're going to decide to go mid. You really want to plan out your route as an opper. The reason why is because you want to get to the area that you are going to get the pick the fastest, so that way you don't get any missed opportunities. No pun intended, but say you're going mid. As an example, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to go mid, I'm going to get the pick mid. Now, there's two ways you can obviously hold mid. Are you going to hold it at a passive angle, or are you going to hold it at a more aggressive angle? Are you going to look directly towards mid and hope someone swings wide, or are you going to hold passively as far as the headshot angle here? And then from there, if you get that pick, say you get that pick and you kill someone in headshot or you kill someone in lower mid, what are you going to do after that? Because after that, it opens up so many more opportunities. Are you at the man advantage? Do you have teammates near you and with you? And then from there, play it out from there. But really knowing your route in the beginning of the round is one of the biggest things. Same goes for B side as well too. Are you going to hold it passively? You're going to take an easy early pick. And then going from there really, really helps because you already have the mindset of this is where I'm going to be at and this is where the pick is and this is the chance I'm going to take. Now, the second thing kind of goes along with the first, and that is to be aware of the round and where you're at compared to your teammates and when to move and stop holding an angle. So, say you planned out to go mid. You go for an aggressive peek here. You get the kill. From there, you really need to think of, okay, where is my teammate at? Say your teammate is actually playing balcony and holding back apps. But after getting that pick, did you hear anyone mid or alt mid? Did you hear anyone close? Did you hear any activity in alt mid? If so, you really need to plan out from there. And now you're aware your teammate's on balcony. Obviously, you're pretty much in no man's land right here. So if you stay here and you stay holding this angle on ramp, someone could easily go up in through alt mid into boiler, kill you from there. Someone could just wide swing right here in mid. Someone could flash you off, and then you have two people you're trying to fight. You're pretty much in no man's land, especially if you don't have a teammate that's holding arches at that point. Now, from there, once you realize, okay, this is my attack plan, essentially, you get the pick and then you hear steps mid, you're obviously going to want to fall back. You're going to want to fall back and you're going to want to hold here. There is still a chance that they can be in boiler as your teammate is on balcony. He's not aggressive in apps or anything like that. So that is why you really need to know where your team's at and be aware of where your teammate's at and when and where to move, because it can really separate you from, okay, cool, you got the man advantage, you got that early pick into the game, but now after getting that man advantage, you die right here because you stayed in this spot for too long. The game is tied. You lost the op now in the round, and not a lot of people will double op depending on what you're playing. Of course, you might have a double op, but still, you lost that advantage on A site, and you lost that early pick. Pretty much tied it up and making that early pick rendered useless. For the next tip, I'm going to talk about repositioning and when to be aware of repositioning. I'm going to use this clip on screen as an example, and the reason why is because I feel like I did a pretty decent job at this. Now, as you can see, I'm holding banana from CT spawn, not really an aggressive angle, but a very common angle to hold. There was also a grenade that's thrown on screen top banana, so I know there's at least one person banana. A lot of the time when people nade that corner, they're going to try to peek right after it, hoping to catch someone slowed off guard. Now, if I continue to start the clip, as we can see, they also mollied it as well too. That was a flash over. That was my cue to not re-peek anymore, and I decided to just throw a smoke to delay any sort of push. As you can see, they're making a lot of noise already on banana. I also decided to throw a grenade after they decided to smoke CT. Now, I made my presence known. I did a decent amount of damage with that nade, but I made my presence known. It was obvious that that nade came from CT because of the direction it was thrown. They could have even seen it go through both smokes and the angle that it came from. So I decided to move. I also boosted up my teammate in CT spawn, and that was a huge reason as to why I tried to reposition. Now, I heard a couple of op shots in this situation, and that is why I decided to take the lower half of this angle here on Coffins. And the reason why is because that makes the T's have to swing out wider to actually see this angle. It's kind of a little bit of an off angle, and it's getting more commonly played. Now, as you can see, I'm waiting for this smoke to fade. The smoke finally does fade, and I'm still just going to passively hold this angle. There's no reason for me to move, take aggressive peeks, or anything like that. My other teammate is on fountain. He can see if someone already crossed past this angle and pushed up past this angle. Now, they're throwing a little bit more utility onto site, and they're about to peek in just a minute. And as you can see, he jiggles that and instantly dies because of the angle that I was holding. And he peeked and shot towards top of Coffins. Now, I was obviously bottom Coffins. There was no way that he did not call out to his teammate that I was Coffins and bottom Coffins because of it just being a different angle to hold. So I decided to jump up on top Coffins. It's not a major reposition, but just this slightest reposition definitely helps with the follow-up here. Boom. There's another pick. I decided to molly off, thought about mollying off the corner, but I see that my teammate pushed out CT spawn, and then from there, the rest of the round plays out. But like I said, I did not do a major reposition. Now, you can definitely majorly reposition. Take arch side as an example. If you fall back arch side, you get one pick on arches. You can fall back either towards library, you could fall out to the other connector area towards CT. You could also fall back towards moto as well too. So repositioning after getting a pick is huge as it keeps your enemy team guessing. Now also when it comes to repositioning, I recommend repositioning as a whole onto different sites. Playing around different sites when you're feeling yourself with the op and you're getting picks, it makes the other team scared to go from site to site. But if you keep rotating around from site to site and keep them guessing of where you're playing, then they're always going to play a little bit more passively, and that plays into you holding angles with the op. Alright, for the fourth tip oppers should definitely know is when you should take aggressive peeks and when you shouldn't take aggressive peeks. We'll use this game as an example, same game that you just saw on Inferno. The scoreline is 10-12 and we are just spectating my teammate here, and as you can see we have a double op setup. He is the only one B by himself. Let's start this out first. He is the only one B by himself. He doesn't have anyone there just yet to be able to help out with any sort of nades, any sort of utility or anything like that. He even has a flash himself and still does not flash the angle. Now let's see how this plays out. As you can see, it's just a recipe for disaster. You don't want to take this, and instantly gets opt. Now, here is one thing that is good for the other team. Obviously, they got the early pick, they have the man advantage. But in this situation, no one here was able to back it up. No one here was able to get any sort of trade frag. There was nothing anyone could have done with this, and he really put himself out there in the open for this to happen. Not only from the angle he was speaking, but also the lack of utility. I understand he was trying to catch someone off guard maybe by not using any utility, but that is not a situation where you need to do this, especially in a game where it's full buy on each side. Now, that's one main thing is, in this situation, you don't want to take the aggressive peek, especially being up rounds, and from there, you really want to play more of a passive angle and take more of a passive approach. By all means, you can definitely do an aggressive peek, but make sure you at least have teammates to back it up, utility to back it up as well too, because if he had a teammate to back it up and some utility to back it up, then maybe you still would have taken banana control or would have gotten a trade pick on the person that pushes up banana. It's very wish-washy there, but definitely could have played out a lot better. Alright, for the fifth and final tip of this video and what oppers need to know is you need to realize how much information you're giving up to the enemy team and what you're giving up and when. As an example, the scope, one of the most distinct sounds in the game, can give away so much information. Say you're taking banana control, maybe it's later in the round, and your teammates have already taken it, but you're walking up and you're trying not to make as much noise, maybe fake a rotate, anything like that. You don't want to just run up site and just instantly scope in, even if no one is CT. That gives so much information. Say someone is CT and they're not peeking, they're going to calm, the person that's on site is going to calm to their teammate saying not to peek CT. Now, say someone is Coffins and they're holding Coffins or were holding Coffins and you go to peek, they already know that you're there, they already heard the scope. That person that's coffins is not going to play a common angle anymore. They're going to play an off angle here. They're going to play somewhere more on site with their teammates. They're going to use a smoke to delay your push, anything like that. So the best way you want to do anything along those lines, I mean, the same thing even goes for Palace on Mirage that you're peeking out of. You really want to scope in early. You want to be aware that you're not giving up information now at this point, and you could take this peek. Say you were quiet that entire time, someone might jiggle peek CT, and you might get the pick, and that might be the difference of the round. Or say you go to peek coffins and you're slow peek coffins or just randomly peeking coffins with no information from the teammate of the CT player, then it's going to be huge and you're going to get that pick, and once again it's going to make the difference in the round. Or even say you have apps control as an example. You have full apps control and you scope in right here and there's someone that's a lane, they're going to hear that. They're going to come to their teammate, hey, there's an op in apps. And that gives up so much information into the round. A lot of the time, the opper is the one to get the opening picks into the game, and you giving up that information could be very detrimental in certain situations. But that is really the main tips that I have for this video. If you enjoyed and they did help you out in any way, shape, or form, then be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more of this content. It really helps me out knowing what you all enjoy seeing. Now, my name is Lunar, and I'll catch you all with another video next time.